here, and there's young men here from all over the country, and we got a young man who won a Groza Award and did everything that we could ask him to do. And 2 days ago, he lost his father in a plane crash, Cairo Santos, and he's back in Brazil right now. Matter of fact, the funeral is going on right now, and our thoughts and our prayers are with him, and we just want him to heal. And if he's at the game, he's at the game. If he's not, we do understand. But he lost his father, who was a great man. I had the chance to spend some time with him at the ESPN Awards, and he's a very, very likable guy.
Where did the plane crash?
His father was a stunt pilot, and Cairo said there was some engine failure, and the engine just went dead and it crashed. I don't know what countries it was, because I talked to Cairo this morning and they were flying the body back, getting ready for the funeral.
We don't have a lot of details on it
Yeah.
right now at all.
But Cairo found out recently.
Yeah, he just found out and he's back there now.
That creates kind of obviously a gaping hole if he can't return, to your lineup in a lot of different ways. But talk about depth chart. What happens if he can't play?
Well, we got Broccoli, who will be the kicker, and he'll kick the long, and he'll kick the field goals, and that's how we practiced it today.
So anyone with a question?
How did he do kicking field goals today?
I thought he was good. He was perfect today. He did well.
Does it change your game plan at all? Because when you cross midfield, you have Cairo, you have a shot almost from anywhere, 50 yards out. What does this do?
Well, you just got to think of some fourth down stuff that you got to prepare for, depending on where you are, and then you just got to put a little bit more pressure on Peter. That those punts, when we get in, we don't want them in the end zone. It just got to be high and kick them out of bounds. Yeah, yes, I do know it. Excuse me? Yeah, yes.
So that's a no can't tell?
Well, that's not going to tell. Let Syracuse find that out at the game.
Would you talk about, I know it was last week, but, I know it's college football, but how do you explain one week to the next there in a 5-day period, Coach, and not play well at home, and then you go on the road 5 days later and play tons better?
Here's what I think happened. I thought even all games, the offense hadn't been consistent, but they've been playing better and better. I thought, just throughout the season, I think Nick Montana's improved game 1, game 2, game 3. Each game he's getting better and better. I think the runners are improving the offensive line. Offensively, we kind of steady. I'd like to see more running of the football. I thought those guys did well the other night, but I thought the offense was pretty consistent. We got to get better, and we know it. I thought defensively, the first half of that game was mental mistake after mental mistake, against South Alabama. You just go back and you're just sick if you just watch it from our critical eyes. Then all of a sudden, our defense settled in the second half and just gave up 10 points, and 7 of the points was from a special teams play. 3 points actually in the second half. So you had the feeling that they could play well. Now, will they continue to play well? I just hope so. But I always felt that this defense is pretty good defense.
I noticed it looks like you have made some adjustments on the line. I'll put it that way. You've opened up. It looks like some more competition there between Donnelly and Jaquette, and it looks like maybe at center as well. Talk about that. Has that competition deepened?
Well, I think we got 3 tackles that play very well: Yusuf Ennis, Donnelly, and Jaquette. And we just got to figure out the 3 guys, how we're going to rotate them in. I don't know if any of them are great players right now, but I think all of them are athletic. All of them are playing well. So those 3 guys should be playing. No different than when Chris Taylor was playing. He's a little banged up right now. I thought we had 3 good guards. The thing about the center is you just can't have snaps too high, snaps on the ground. So you just got to heat the pressure up and see who's the best guy who can get the ball first and foremost back to the quarterback.
How much of this was about the 6 sacks? Has that kind of forced your hand to
You know, I don't think so. I think they're improving. I think if we get the communications with the line and the quarterback center snaps were a little bit of an issue. If we get that taken care of, I think we can knock a bunch of sacks out.
The run defense from the first half of the South Alabama game to the last 6 quarters has been entirely different. Was there any adjustment that took place? Was there a change in personnel at all? I know Julius has been playing more tackle maybe than he was before.
You know, we moved Julius inside. Davenport, we got him, you know, playing some personnel groups, and probably what it should be. The addition of Jeremy Peoples helps us at the defensive end spot. He's one of the guys who I feel can get pressure, 4-man pressure. So just moving Julius inside full time and rotating those guys, the inside guys, a little bit more, really helps us out a lot.
Coach, right now after 3 games, y'all are tied nationally for forcing 11 turnovers. Talk about what they did this past week against Tech and how impressive it is to be forcing this many turnovers this early in the year.
It's one of the things that, you know, Lionel and John and those guys on defense talked about all year. You know, what we got to do, we have to create turnovers to help this young quarterback. I think our defense, they're doing a fantastic job. They're hitting hard. They're forcing fumbles, a lot of interception. We got ball hog guys, Lorenzo Dawes. He's back there. He's catching a bunch of interceptions. Schofield's doing the same thing. You know, they're recovering fumbles. Monroe and Batiste are hitting. Sullen's doing the same. So I think that because of how the secondary, how aggressive they are, and the linebackers are playing well, Marley and Zach had a good game. You know, Zach Davis had a good game also. Dominique Robinson played well. So because they are playing and they're very active, you know, I think we will get turnovers, and it's very important. That's the way we win. We win by winning the turnover ratio.
You declared Nico Marley a starter even before the season started. Obviously, he hasn't surprised you in a lot of ways. Has he surprised you in some ways with how effective he is?
You know what? Absolutely. You know what? The thing, you never know what a freshman's going to do. What freshman, you get them in, you play them. You don't want to start them, but sometimes you have to start them. But his learning curve has been tremendous. He's good. He's good on every situation. He's in on every personnel group right now. I think we may be giving him a little bit too much, but because of these linebackers who are nicked up and guys, you know, out, we just got to continue to play him. But he is a pleasant surprise.
What's the status of Dominique Robertson and Kyle Davis right now?
Kyle Davis still hadn't been cleared yet. Dominique Robinson, I'm going to suspend him this game. You know, just team policy. He's done some stuff that he shouldn't have done, so he won't be on the trip with us this week.
How does that affect you guys in the front seven? Clearly, your run defense was so good for the last few games to lose a guy who
Again, you just got to rely on some younger guys. Edward Williams got to come to play. Zach Davis, again, had a good game. Marley got to play a little bit more. Eric Thomas got to play more. But, you know, you just can't have, when you're building a program, we got to do everything right. You just can't have things, you know, going awry.
How much was Edward Williams able to do? Was he pretty much back to full health? And how much do you expect him to play this week?
I expect Edward to play a lot, have be a large part of the game plan. He's in there. He last week I thought he limped a little bit. He's limping a lot less this week, so he'll be a big portion of our game plan this week.
Coach, I know you and Coach Payton are in constant communication. Can you talk about how both of y'all's teams are doing successful right now? Is that a back and forth thing you and him talk about?
Yeah, you know, we talk about that. He talks about more about my weight than anything, but no, we communicate a lot on, you know, just what they are doing. They're doing a lot of good things. You know, I love this game plan. I like what he did on the goal line. I would have took the points off and went for it also, just because. The reason why is because it was a wet game. I thought the defense was playing outstanding. If you get that one in, and I'm going to say this, that's on Ingram to get that in. If you get that in, the game was over at the first half.
And another thing, I was talking to Nick, and I asked him, "Do you ever bring up reason?" He goes, "Yeah, but only when I do bad things." He says, "You know, oh, Drew Brees has done that much better than you did."
Yeah, it's just a habit if you got a great quarterback. And I almost told him last week his dad would have thrown that ball that he took the sack on. So.
Is that hard though for those kids to live up to? You're used to greatness at quarterback, and obviously these kids have a lot of growing up to do.
It's only hard if you don't want to be great. I think they do want to be great, and they take it and they kind of laugh at it, and they tease me about it all the time. But they understand that my expectation for them is very high, and I think Nick's going to be a tremendous player for us. And, you know, it's good to have guys that you can compare to.
TJ, I want to follow up on Nick Montana. I think you said last week that you thought he threw the ball too many times. You didn't want him to throw as much against South Alabama. You said 10 sacks in 3 games. Is that a concern? Maybe because you think he's throwing the ball too much by necessity, you're forced to do that. That's why maybe you guys have had that many sacks against him.
Absolutely. You know, when you're in a game, you know, the South Alabama game was throw. You had to throw to catch up. And being a young quarterback, you just don't want to put him in that position. I like the game last week against Louisiana Tech. Obviously, we won. You know, you take the turnovers away that we had, but it was more of a balanced attack. It was run, it was pass, it was quick passing game. It was a lot of three-step, you know, a lot of stuff that he's very capable of doing. But screens were a big deal. But if you're down by 20 points, you can't throw a screen because everybody knows everything what you're doing, so they know you're throwing it. So I want him to be 50-50 run, pass, balance. I think that's what he's good at.
He's got a finger injury on his non-throwing arm. How much did that affect the snaps? Did that play a part in him grabbing it, or?
Yeah, because of the injury, we're doing some things a little bit different. But he is getting accustomed to the injury. He's doing well. Today was a lot better than it's been for the last week and a half. So, I just expect him by this game, he'll be ready with that finger.
Between Zach and Mike Henry at center, is Mike the better maybe snapper and maybe Zach the better, in terms of pass protection?
Well, we don't know that. We feel comfortable with Zach. It's just, to me, it's more of a concentration thing with Zach. Mike has done a good job for us in the past, but I feel the staff feels very, very comfortable with Zach being the center. It's just he has to concentrate throughout.
When you look at Syracuse on film, this is going to be a stronger opponent than what you faced on Thursday. Can you get that point across to the players, or do they see it just when you click play?
Oh, they see it when you click. I mean, guys know when they watch tape, they know exactly what's going on. They know that this opponent's going to be tough. They know they're going to be big. They're going to be physical, offensive line and defensive line. The Syracuse been in the weight room a lot. So, we know we have a challenge for us. It's a big challenge for us. I think our guys will be ready to play. The way they practiced the last couple of days, they practiced with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. They'll be ready. Now, if we can do enough to win this game, we'll see. But, we know they're big. We know they're physical. We know that this is going to be a tough opponent for us.
What's your game plan against the team on Saturday?
Well, it gives us a win. That's the biggest part of the plan. But, here's what you got to do. You got to possess the ball. I think the time of possession is going to be important, and the turnover ratio will be the two things that are the most important thing when you're going on the road and you're winning. And the third thing is you got to be able to run the football. We can run the football and stop the run. Don't let them get in the frenzy of, doing all these blitzes and all this stuff. I think we'll have a good chance of winning.
You made a change in deep snapper this week to Marquise. Why make the move? When did you really kind of decide that it needed to take place and that this reached its finish?
It's just, we have some freshmen that the game isn't too big for. Maybe our freshman snapper may have been too big for him. He gave up one against South Alabama, and he turned around and made the same mistake. And if it was a regular position player, you do the same thing. You set him down, you let him watch a little bit. Julius Wormsley will handle the short snaps, and Marfisi will probably handle the long snaps.
When you go up to the East Coast on a road trip, I know that that's a huge alumni base for Tulane. Do you have functions that you have to go to besides football? Are you doing any meet and greets, or?
I'll do that in the summer. We'll do that in the off season. But no, it's all about winning this game. It would be a tragedy if our young men wouldn't have their head coach when he's needed the most. So I'll be with the guys in meetings and doing all those things.
Got it. And then injuries throughout the team. How did the team come out of Tech? That was a physical game. It was hot.
Pretty good. The biggest injury, I thought we had two. It was Devin Boutte got a little bit of a quad strain, and we're trying to work on him. He's day to day, and the other one is Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor got a little bit of a knee sprain, I guess you call it. I don't know these terms. All these terms we have, and I can't pronounce half of them, which equals when I played a sprain. So he has a sprain. So he may be active, or he may not be ready for this week.
Did he practice today?
He did not do much. He was on the sideline, drinking Gatorade and Mr. Benson's water.
Do you feel like this team has learned the lesson coming off the first win? This team doesn't have a lot of history, doing well after wins that didn't have much to do with you, but then after Jackson State, they came out flat. Do you feel like they've learned?
You know what? I hope so, because if we come out like that, this team we playing this week now. They're big and physical. If you can't see it on tape, they're going to hit us in the mouth, and we're going to be stuck. So we got to come out. We got to have our A game, and we got to be ready to play this football team now, because it's a good football team.
Any more questions?
They got you.
Syracuse makes the change at quarterback. I guess they announced they're going to have a new starter. How much have you been able to see of him? I guess really his only action was against Wagner last week.
No. He's played before. They ran both of them in and out the game a little bit. They made the change. Here's why they probably made the change. I think those guys are pretty good. Both of those guys are good. You know, the one kid just threw 6 interceptions, and a couple of them were tip balls, and you know this, that, and the other. But you know, yeah, they making a change. But both of those guys are good players, and you know, big. Both of them are big. Both of them physical. Both of them can run. You know, this guy that they got now, he can run maybe a little bit better. But you know, we're gonna see both of them, and I think both of them are good players.
If you get Cairo back, you know, his dad is somebody that had been huge in his life. He wanted to, you know, set himself up for an NFL sort of thing to basically impress his dad. That's been a big theme in his life. If you get him back, are you worried about him mentally being able to stay focused?
Absolutely. You know, anytime you have a tragedy like that, you're going to be worried a little bit. But I've learned over the years of my time with Cairo is to trust him. And so if he's comfortable with doing whatever, I'm going with Cairo. It's no different than, you know, him telling me all the time he can make the kick, and he hadn't missed one since I've been here.
You know, the other thing is tragedy is affecting their team as well. Is this a game this week to some extent of who can, you know, kind of keep focus on the task at hand despite everything around it?
You know, I agree with you 100%. You know, whenever there's tragedy, you just wonder, you know, how everybody's going to respond to tragedy, and whoever can focus, whoever can, you know, do their jobs through these adversities, that'll be the team who will win the game.
Because you have such a young team, is it easier on the road or at home when it comes to playing a football game, distraction-wise?
You know, I like both places. I like what we do at home because it's comfortable. You know, they're comfortable. They are pretty much doing what we ask them to do. But on the road, it's like, you know, I can always give them my up against the world speech, like the Raiders speech. It's us against everybody else. So you know, I like to put that in every once in a while. But you know, either or, you got to play them. But it doesn't matter. I just think whoever's focused, that'll be the guys who's going to win the game.
You played arguably your best game this year on the road.
Yeah, and I hope this one is even better than that one, you know. But but just, look, wherever we can get a win at, I'll play anywhere. Is that it? Thank you, guys.